What's going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in once again. This is the Still Nick Fans Weekly Podcast. Uh, I think I'll call out the episode because I haven't done it in a while. This is episode 33. It just gives you an idea, man. Season 2, episode 33. These things are flying, man. We out here. Uh-oh. I think you're on mute, John.
You're right about that.
Yes.
I shouldn't be a novice. We've been doing it for 2 seasons already.
You guys don't get it. This is great. I'm usually the one on mute. Yes.
Finally.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
What's up, brother?
I'm chilling, man. I'm chilling. Looking forward to today's show, as always.
Yeah, man. Anytime there's a chance for us to get together and chop it up, you know how excited I am. Talking these Nick rumors, these Nick issues, these Nick problems, these Nick expectations, these Nick disappointments.
You know what's super crazy though? Is like every Monday before we come on, there's always something that comes up. There's always something that like just out of the blue.
Dude, I was thinking about everything, and I was like working on the thumbnail early. I actually started on Saturday night. I said, you know what? Let me start just putting something. No, I'll wait. Then in the morning on Sunday, I said, you know what? Okay, we got the Summer League. We got the Knicks. They're about to play. I'll wait till after that goes down. And then something else popped up. There's always something. It's always something.
But it's usually like right before we get on. I'm sure while we're on the show, there's something. Brew is ugly little head. Something's gonna pop right out on Bleacher Report, and then we're gonna have to like speak on that. You know, it's crazy.
Yeah, something's definitely gonna happen. It always does. Anyway, I just want to say special shout out. I can see my guy, the Woogieack, is in the building in the chat. He just came by, stopped by to show some love. That's one of my good friends. Yeah, you know, he don't even follow the Knicks, but he's showing some love, which I appreciate, man.
Nice,
Thank you.
Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button.
Oh yeah. He's definitely in there. So yeah, man, today's gonna be another good show. It's a jam-packed Monday with Nick content everywhere. You know how it is. Right. I want to give a special shout out to the chat. Walter Blackman Jr. Appreciate you always waiting on the show. That's going to be Walter Blackman Jr.'s tagline, waiting on the show, because he's always ahead of everybody. Nice. He's always waiting for us to start. I appreciate you. As always, salute Geraldine McIver, the first lady of Still Nick fans. David L's in the building. Yes, day one. David L's in the building. Canal Bandlaya's in the building. What's going on, brother? My guy Pete Panagiotopoulos is in the building. Yes. Almighty Finesse is here. Stephen Fox is in the building. What's going on, Foxy? Knicks will be 2026 NBA champs is in the building. I appreciate you. And I keep seeing someone else in the chat. This Yankees Morning Brew gentleman is in the building. I mean, he really in the building. As a matter of fact, you know, why don't we welcome Mr. Yankees Morning Brew himself to the show. Mr. Project Nerd HQ Heck is in the building. Let's go.
Salute, gentlemen. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
More fire. Read
Hold on, let me make sure I'm not muted real quick. You know, I don't want to be called out for.
Yeah. There's only one Puerto Rican can do that at one time. You know, we can't keep doing
Okay. We gotta limit it.
Gotta limit that.
Yeah, man.
Honestly, Ron and John, thank you so much for reaching out, asking me to come on. When you throw out that bat signal, you know I'm going to show up.
I appreciate.
Well, you got it, brother, man. Listen, I wish I could, reciprocate and do more of it for you and your show, but just time-wise, it's bad for me because I'm always at work at that time. But one of these days, I'll make it happen.
Oh, listen.
I can't make it happen. You know who's that Yankee guy who's gonna come through in the clutch.
Yeah. Listen, you guys have an open pen or open seat, open door policy. You know, whenever you guys want, just let me know. Ron, I know one of these days you'll probably take a bathroom break for 15 minutes just to hop on and talk it up real quick.
Let me tell you something. It could be on that day that we get Juan Soto, because if that happens, I'll definitely make some time.
Oh, that's if me and John. That's if we get Juan Soto.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I'm only worried about if the Mets get him. If the Yanks get him, that's back page news. Nobody needs to see that.
Listen, you got Michael Kadaya, who's making a comeback out of retirement just to help you out this year. You'll be fine.
Are you serious?
No, I'm joking.
Oh, because I wouldn't be surprised, bro. Because Michael Kadaya could come back. I don't know.
That was a fan favorite.
Yeah, he definitely was. He definitely was. So listen, man, we got Project Nerd HQ here. My guy Hector from the Yankees Morning Brew. First off, thank you for being here. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the show and how you got involved with the network and why you chose to do this? Because we I think it's good for everybody to know. Some people know you already from doing For the Love of the Game and being out there and doing basketball stuff and all the other sports related stuff you guys did. So just give us a little bit about that.
Yeah. First and foremost, shout out to my guys Worldwide L and Hardwill from For the Love of the Game. We started something special over there. They're continuing it. This was just an opportunity that I got from the FCF and the Fan Control Football League. If you guys know the Fan Control Football League, it's an independent amateur football league. That's the league that Johnny Manziel, Terrell Owens, and a lot of former NFL players are playing in right now. I built a relationship with those guys over there. One of the owners, Drew Austin and Jiggerman Porter, reached out to me. It's like, listen, we know you're a Yankee fan. You got For the Love of the Game. Pitch us an idea about a show, and we go from there. So I pitched them the Yankees Morning Brew, and it's been rolling ever since, and it's been an awesome opportunity. Awesome. You guys checked out the show. This morning, we had Jason from, if you guys know, like Yankee content creators, 161 River Ave. He's a big-time Yankee content creator. He was on this morning, and like one of these days, I said, I'm willing to have you guys on. Can't wait for you to jump on and talk Yankees and Mets. But it was an opportunity that I needed to take to expand, just to take advantage of what's out there. We all as content creators want opportunities, and the FCF and that company, Tuzio, just laid out an opportunity for me to get paid to do this, and I was like, you know what? Why not? I'm getting paid to talk the Yankees. Why not?
That's dope.
And also too, for people to know, the Yankees Morning Brew, it comes on Monday through Friday after every Yankee game. We're on the next morning, so if there's a Yankee game on Monday night, Tuesday morning we will be on. Oh, sorry, Rod. Oh, I think he's.
Oh no, we good. We good. Yeah, no, I think we just had a little bit of. There's, and just so you guys know, there's some intermittent weather going on the East Coast and stuff, and it may affect the signal. Hopefully, we can keep it together. It might get a little choppy, but the show must go on. We here. I used to watch the circus. They never stop.
It's dangerous out there. People are losing slippers in the rain. It's dangerous.
Yeah, no, that's dope. That's dope. I was just saying, like, whenever you get an opportunity that presents itself, you have to explore it. I mean, and then figure out if it works for you, if it makes the best business sense and stuff of that nature. So I'm glad something presented itself. You jumped on it, and I hope that it just continues to grow and grow. And that's another reason why I'm happy that you accepted the invite to come here, because I want more people and more eyes to be on the show and see what you're doing now, because I know with any transition it's a little difficult. People don't know, hey, what's this guy doing? Where's he at? How can I find him? So where can they find you? Your show comes on, is it daily, or
it's Monday through Friday, is during the week. Knights of Degen is on Twitch, Rad TV. They just started the YouTube portion. Right when I got on with them is when they started the YouTube portion. So I push a lot more to the YouTube just so people are familiar with it. But if you guys just type in Yankees Morning Brew on YouTube, I'll pop up. Knights of Degen, like Degenerates, Degen. It's the name of the YouTube channel. Knights of Degen is the FCF team. It's a part of the metaverse world. If you guys are familiar with NFTs and Bitcoin, the Bored Apes is the biggest NFT project that's in the world right now. Knights of Degen is second right behind them. So we're in that camp right there with the Bored Apes, the Zappers, Knights of Degen. it's crazy. Honestly, when I first got into it, I didn't know what any of this was about, right? But a week looking into this stuff, it's virtual fighting we do on Fridays, virtual horse racing you do. So it's like a casino on YouTube. It's a fun place to hang out. You do get hooked. I'm not gonna lie.
Ah, that's dope. That's dope.
That's interesting.
Were you gonna say something, John?
Yeah. No, I wanted to. One of the things I enjoy about your show is that not only are you a Yankee fan, and I love the Yankees, but watching you, understanding that you're very knowledgeable about the game of baseball, which is something that for some folks, when you talk baseball with someone and they are just a fan, it's hard to have a conversation with them because they're just not looking at it. They're only looking at it through that lens, instead of looking at it through a baseball lens, because baseball is one of the hardest games that ever for anyone to play. It's just very difficult. And I should know. I played a lot of baseball growing up. And now I still play softball, but because I can't give it up. But
you never die.
I just gotta keep playing. It's one of those things. It's like when you talk baseball with a knowledgeable baseball fan, right, and a Yankee fan, there's so much that goes into it, because you're not only talking about the player themselves, but sort of what they bring day in and day out. You know what I mean? Like when a player's slumping, you can talk about how it affects them, mentally, physically, how it becomes draining on someone. If you're going through a stretch where, similar to Gallo right now, he's gone through a stretch that he hasn't seen in his professional career. You know what I mean? And that's crazy because, he's always been a hit and miss guy, right? But to be at the biggest stage in his career and not being able to produce, it's gotta be killing him mentally. You know what I mean? And and you speak to that, and I appreciate that. What are a few things about this Yankee team that we see this year that surprised you the most?
The most, honestly, and I think I told you this when we was at the stadium, a few weeks back. The one thing that surprised me the most is, John, if you would have asked me coming into the season on July 18th, if I thought the Yankees were going to have this record, I would have said no. I would have never bet any amount of money for them to have this record. But the thing that surprised me the most, especially going back these past 20 years when it comes to Yankee teams, the pitching that this team has, the starting pitching and the bullpen, the Yankees never had a solid starting rotation for years to come. We'll probably have Mariano and Tom Gordon, Scott Proctor, a few relievers that are lights out money, but never the amount of arms we have. Never the starting pitching being so balanced and everyone is feeding off of each other. When you're watching the game, and I want a lot of people, if you're not used to really watching the game, pay attention next time you watch. Pay attention to the Yankees dugout and see how Garrett Cole, Jameson Taillon, and Jordan Montgomery all be huddled up under each. I call them the three amigos. Always huddled up, got the pad right in front of them, and breaking down film, breaking down stats, breaking down how you threw a pitch, how to not to throw a pitch. To me, that's the most. Yankees can get as many home runs as possible. Home runs is beautiful. Aaron Judge, if he gets to 60 home runs, is awesome. To me, seeing the evolution of the starting pitchers, Garrett Cole being a leader, is the most eye-dropping thing for me this season.
Yeah. No, I have to agree with you there. The camaraderie is unlike we've seen since I want to say the early 2000 teams. Some would say 98, but you have a lot more camaraderie. Since the Core 4 time, there was a lot of camaraderie, but now you're seeing the same effect happening with these new players that we have on the team, and those veteran players that we had on this team are also allow these new players to come in with open arms and just allowing them to come in and just relax and play their role. And I think that's one of the reasons why we're going in such a hot streak right now. We had, Ron and I used to joke earlier in the season, April was a good month for, his beloved Mets, and they were the champions of April. They were the champions of April.
April. It was the first 3 weeks.
They're the champions of April. Gotta give them love.
But you know what?
They're still top of their division, right? You're still top
That's
of your
right.
division.
Now we look like the top of the heap in April, May, June, and July still. So,
Okay.
hey.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
I give them
Yeah,
love.
you know what I mean? We ain't
love.
the Yankees, but hey, we doing. I think the Mets are doing incredibly well considering that they hadn't had their top two pitchers.
Aces.
I thought they were doing great, and their bullpen is still a little sketchy. However, Edwin Diaz has been quite the surprise. He's finally coming to his own, and that trade that Van Wagenen made years ago that made us all scratch our heads, giving up that top prospect and getting Cano and Edwin Diaz is finally paying off. Imagine that we can get rid of a guy in Cano that we paid so much money and still had multiple years on his contract, and we're still okay. That's crazy.
Right. You guys finally have an owner that's not afraid to spend money. You know, Steve Cohen, Uncle Cohen. Like, it's so bad they put a rule into the union agreement, the Steve Cohen tax. That's how much the other owners are scared of him so much. No, seriously, it's literally a Steve Cohen tax now, and that they're scared of him. Wow. You know, and I'm happy for you because, and this is all kidding around. When the Yankees and Mets both are good, it just makes the city so much better. It just makes the inner city rivalry so much better. It's just like with the Knicks. When the Knicks are good, the vibe in the city is just so much better. It makes you forget that gas is $5.75 a gallon.
Oh, I don't know if I could forget that.
Before we get into, and I see we have a generous super chat, which I'll get into in a little bit. Before we get into the Knick talk, because we're gonna get into the Knick talk in another minute or so. How do you guys feel about the current state of your New York Yankees? And I know you just mentioned how you're surprised with the pitching and everything, but the fact that the pitching is clicking, the hitting is clicking. They got some issues, but they're still able to overcome it. And they're playing, you know, I would assume that if they're winning games the way they're winning, they must be playing pretty decent defense too, because that was always a knock on most recent years of the Yankee teams.
It could be better. It could be better.
Yeah, it still could be better, but they seem like they're doing enough to not, you know, cost them games. And the fact that they're just not running away, but they have a really good lead. And I know that someone's on their heels now, but I think the Yankees will be fine. I just find that remarkable. I swear to you, I knew the Yankees would be decent this year, but I didn't think they'd be this good.
Well, I'll tell you something. You know, if we were in the NL East, we would have a nice lead. But because we're in the AL East, and that's the toughest division in, you know, the MLB, you know, Toronto's still behind us. Right? Oh, no, actually, Tampa Bay, 13 games back.
So, you know that's true. I will say, but Atlanta is starting to finally play. The Phillies, if they could get their act together, maybe they could make a run. But yeah, Atlanta's playing. Atlanta's coming back for real now. So at least you got 2 or 3 teams in the NL East.
One thing about the AL East also, this is the first time in Major League history that on July 18th, every team in that division is 500 or more, or 500 or better. Yep. This is the
beating up on every other division.
Yep, every team beating up on every, even Baltimore. Better than the Baltimore Orioles are at 500.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, listen, no knock. I'm not taking anything away. That's a tough division. You know, it's tough.
I'm telling you.
But I will say one thing:
you gotta pay. You just gotta play your competition. Your competition is your competition, no matter what division you're in.
I agree with that. If these New York Mets can keep Scherzer fairly healthy and can get Jacob deGrom back healthy, then watch out. But it's all ifs. We'll see.
Too many ifs.
There's a lot of ifs. But hey, you know what? You make up for those ifs at the trade deadline if you bring in Juan Soto. I'm just saying.
I feel you. I understand. Listen, we got a slot for him over here in the Bronx, so you know.
I know. I don't want to see it. Happen. I don't want to see it, but it definitely.
Hey, listen, don't. Listen, those like I said backstage, those billboards are gonna look real nice with Juan Soto on them. Driving down the West Side Highway, driving down the FDR, they're gonna look real nice.
Yeah, no, I'm good. You can hold on to them billboards. As a matter of fact, I know there's some businesses that need kindling. You know, nice wood. Okay. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So let me once again shout out everybody in the chat. Thank you guys for tuning in. Appreciate you guys. As always, let me see if there's anybody new that I might have missed. Bricks Nation in the building. Frank Matos, used to call him Sasso, is in the building. What's going on? Let me see. I don't want to, fail to call somebody's name out if I have the option. Don P's in the building. What's good, Don P? Appreciate you. Savage NYC is here. Thank you. JJ's in the building. JJ, that blue wrench looks good on you. Appreciate you, bro. D Nice is in the building. C_Mac is in the building. Appreciate you. Julian Blum is here. What's going on? Thank you guys for tuning in. If I missed anybody, it's not for lack of trying. I appreciate all you guys for tuning in. And special shout out to Mr. Walter Blackman Jr. Thank you for the generous super chat. We appreciate you. That. Walter Blackman, you know what? I got to tell you, I can't thank you enough for all the generous contributions you give to the show. You're always, like I said, you're one of our biggest supporters. You're always here before we even start the show, just waiting for the content. And, honestly, we really appreciate it. And being that I'm just mentioning how you're a good supporter and, you've been holding us down, I want to also give a shout out to another set of supporters. And it could be some of you guys, but I feel like in that verse over there, they're a little different. Not everybody's a YouTube supporter. They're, they hang out on Twitter and whatever. I want to, give a special shout out to the Twitterverse. Thank you guys so much for supporting us. You took our Twitter, our Twitter SKF podcast to the 1,000 subscriber mark.
Yes, sir.
We in the thousands, folks. Yeah, man. Thank you. 1,000 subscribers. We did it. Mama, we made it.
Mama, we made it.
Thank you guys so much. We appreciate it. For always showing love and whatever, and just just rocking with us no matter what it is. You could be here for 10 minutes. At least you jumped in for 10 minutes and showed us some love. Thank you.
That's a fact.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that being said, JJ, that's right. Before we get into this Nick talk and what's going on, that JJ said nobody wants this Met smoke. Facts. Once we get on all cylinders, we got 3 good pitchers and a couple of real solid role pitchers. I like not role players; they're role pitchers.
Yep, more like a smoke, more like a smoke screen. Yeah, I get you.
Oh wow! Sheesh.
Sorry. That was harsh.
I have faith. The Mets, their front office will do what they have to do. Get you guys a power bat to play DH. Get yourself another starting pitcher. You guys will be fine. Everything work out. Yeah, it's just the Yankees are getting Juan Soto. Live with that.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you. We need that. Salute to Quality Jumper. My man Worldwide L in the building. What's good?
My man Mayberry.
There he is. Fabian Williams is here. He said, cough, Yankees, cough. I see what you're doing there, Fabian. Anyway, all right, man. So let's get into, what's going on with these New York Knicks. We'll get into some of the, the rumors that are going on and stuff that came out today from Marc Stein. But before we do that, I guess we should give a special shout out and a thank you to the New York Knicks Summer League team. Listen, they made it to the championship game. They didn't win the game. It's okay. But they played good throughout this little summer league season. They gave a good effort, up until this last game. I think they were really good. This last game, they got unfortunately, the only 2 times they lost was to the same Portland Trailblazer team. Looks like the Portland Trailblazers exposed the Knicks team and figured out their weakness. And one of those main weaknesses is we can't score consistently. Like we got guys who are really aggressive and get after it on defense. But when it comes to putting the ball in the basket consistently, they're young, they're a little inexperienced, but they definitely don't have that same type of consistent thing that we need in an NBA basketball team. And that's part of the reason why, as much as I want to get on Tom Thibodeau a lot because he doesn't play some of these guys when he should, I also understand his side of it, because if he sees this every day in practice, he's got to be saying, I can't just throw that out there. I need to bring them along slowly. We need consistency. Quentin Grimes showed he made major strides in the summer league. He looked like he's working on his game. He's getting to the hoop. He's doing up and unders. He's doing some behind the back passes. He's starting to really expand on things. But you can also see he's still terribly inconsistent with his jump shot, and his jump shot is supposed to be his bread and butter. So that's something he definitely needs to work on. What do you guys think about that? I'll start with you, Heck. What do you think about how the Knicks play in the summer league, and specifically, what do you think about Quentin Grimes' game?
Well, coming into the summer league, I really wasn't expecting much, not because it's summer league, just because it's like, it was no top lottery pick. Who we're really trying to see, So coming into it, I only wanted to see Grimes, Sims, McBride. What did they do in the offseason? How did they improve their game? You brought up Grimes, and I'm going to start off with Grimes. To me, like you said, his jump shot was still a little bit inconsistent, but he showed he has another gear. He has another part of his game that the scouting reports don't know about, right? Driving to the lane, being able to finish under the lane, trying to draw that contact, driving. Quentin Grimes showed that he's not just a jump shooter. He could do other things, right? I love seeing that. Jericho Sims as well, seeing Jericho Sims put the ball on the ground, have him getting a couple dribbles, trying to improve his post game. So seeing that he's not scared to try something new, awesome. My biggest disappointment was Deuce McBride. He had one solid-ish game, and every other game was decent, and some was underwhelming. Anyone else that came in and everything else that they did was just icing on the cake, right? We got some contributors that we didn't know where they came from, right? We had the Dominican kid who came in, number 77, who was fast, but he showed that he could shoot as well. And he could show that his defense is not something to sleep on as well. So it was refreshing to see, like, all right, we were able to find something later in the second round. We're just bringing guys in from the G League, some free agents signing. Maybe we have something here, because at the end of the day, what it comes down to is we're trying to show off these pieces for a Donovan Mitchell trade, right? So having Grimes come in, have the type of summer league he had, it just built his stock value up, and especially coming back off of a knee injury that he had late in the season to end the season, coming back off of that injury, showing he's healthy, showing that he's not afraid to drive, and his defense was still his defense. His defense is what he's known for, and we saw how deep how his defense is. McBride, like I said, underwhelming a lot of performances, but his defense was still top-notch. His shooting, some games was okay-ish, and other games it was non-existent. So McBride just need to be able to have a solid run of consistency, because he could do it in the G League. It's no problem. He could ball out in the G League. We just need to see you do it on the next level, whether it's summer league, whether it's preseason, whether it's right before the season, whatever happens, we just need you to see. We just need a different side of your game, McBride.
I see you, Ron. What's that? What was that?
I said, what do you think, John? What you didn't hear me? I mean, come on, come on, buddy. You know what I mean?
You didn't see the subtitles pop up on the Ron once he spoke. You didn't see that, John?
I told you, like the bad storms outside and stuff. Come on,
Nah, I 100% agree with HQ right now, because that is what I was looking at too. I was looking at the performances of those three players specifically, because those are the players who we expect to make the NBA team. And for that, you want to make sure that they have a role in our Knicks team, and what that role will be. We still see that Deuce is still a ways away. He still needs a little bit, he still needs to be able to get by his defender, and make it easier for his shot to get off. He doesn't have enough of a quick step to get by guys yet. And he seems to rely on his strength more than his quickness. So I think that's something he needs to work on. And just exploding to the basket, being able to do what McBride did, was also to score with contact, And I do enjoy seeing Sims, develop his game and add more to his game. One thing I want to see from him is his free throw shooting. He needs to get that at a better clip. He needs to be a little bit more in control of that. And if he does that, then I could see him gaining more playing time as the season goes on. But I think right now he's going to become a detriment if he can't hit those free throws. And you could see it against Portland. It affected a lot of those quarters. He had opportunities to get, easy buckets, was fouled and couldn't make those, free throws. But again, there's a lot to be said about, the players that we have that can potentially go to the G League, continue to work on the games, the G Monteros of the world, even Keels, who played well. He still needs a lot, he's still young. He's only 18. He's got a lot of, growth to do in his future. Just keep him down there within the G League team, work on his game, and see if next year he gets a little better with his shot and becomes more consistent with his game. And a lot of these guys on this team that played in the summer league are really trying out for other teams, and that's another thing. They're not gonna all fit with the New York Knicks G League. So we'll see how that goes. But I'm looking forward to the season. And if we're able to make a trade and some of these guys go, I'm okay with it. It's going to be sad to see a McBride go, but I understand the reasoning.
Yeah. That is the thing. Like, you want to continue to see the New York Knicks team grow, and right now they feel like the best course of action is to bring in some type of young star to kind of help grow with them. But they feel like they need someone else. They need someone else to kind of really be the number one on the team, the closer, if you will. And we've seen there's been a need for that in the most recent season. If we had a closer, the season could have turned out a lot better. Would they have gone that much further? Maybe not. They might have, been in a position to make the play-in, maybe get into the first round of the playoffs, possibly. Who knows what could have happened after that? But I don't think they would have gone further than that. But that's what could have happened had we had a Donovan Mitchell on the team. Losing those type of games that we lost in that fashion hurt. I mean, it was tough for us as fans. I could imagine how it felt as a player. Like that must have been rough, and as a coach. So, that does bring us to the latest Donovan Mitchell news, which there really isn't much. So, and that's the news, folks. Thank you.
Show's over. All right, bye guys. Bye.
Drive safely.
Bye.
This has been real.
I want to just clear something. Clear something real quick. When I was breaking down, I didn't say McBride was horrible. I just said I wanted to see more from McBride. I was a big supporter of McBride last year. Wanted to see him towards the end of the year, and seeing the numbers that he put up in G League, right? Almost double digits and assists, 20+ points a game. Seeing that what he did in the G League, I just wanted to see it more in Summer League, right? Grimes showcasing, the different tools he's been working on, coming back, that he is healthy after that knee injury. Ultimately, this is just a showcase for Grimes to build his trade value up to be in that Donovan Mitchell trade. If we could keep McBride, I would love to keep McBride and develop him behind D Rose and Jalen Brunson, because his toughness, he has the toughness and the mentality of a New Yorker, and I would love to see it work out.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. I understand that wholeheartedly. I will say that here's the problem with Deuce, because Deuce is going to be one of those players that is going to be, he's not that good to make it, that big of an argument. But even what he is, he's enough for some people. They like his demeanor. They like how he carries himself. He's a young pup. He plays, pretty good defense. And he's really efficient. That I will give him. He's very efficient. His assist to turnover ratio is like, probably, if he played every day and had a starting role, he'd probably be one of the best in the NBA at that. But that being said, you also got to see some of his weaknesses exposed a little bit more in the summer league. Because if you remember, we were clamoring for him to get more minutes with the big club, and Tibbs just didn't really give him the minutes. He used to give him like 45 seconds at the end of the first quarter or something like that. He just wasn't giving him the minutes. Then he went down. He went back and forth to the G League, and he was killing. But I'm going to say this. The G League competition is poor, man. I saw some games of just the highlights of dude. Like there was when we had Luka Samanic, this dude just walked right down the lane and dunked, and it was like they parted the Red Sea for him. It was crazy. Some of these teams are horrible. So
Samanic was putting up numbers on that squad.
Oh yeah,
he
was.
So, and not to take anything away from him, but I'm just saying some of these teams, the defense was bad. And you look at it like you say, well, the Summer League is not the NBA. But let me tell you something. There's a lot of good young players in the Summer League. In comparison to the G League, they're even better in the Summer League. You got some guys that are actually on teams in the Summer League. So, and then unfortunately, Deuce's biggest issue comes back to haunt him in that case. Deuce's problem and the reason why he was drafted so late and not a first-round talent is because of the fact that he has a slow first step. He doesn't have a quick first step, and he has trouble breaking down his defender and getting into the lane. And nothing in this summer league showed you anything other than that. He still has those same issues. He can't turn the corner. And once in a blue, he would get past his man, but it's because of the way the defense was set up. When the defense is actually playing him, he struggles. So it's something he has to work on, but it's another thing as Knicks fans we have to look at and say, look, we like Deuce. He's a good player. He could be a good talent, but he may not be the guy at that position that we think he can turn into. He just he may not be. So, you got to move on sometimes.
But
we'll see what happens.
There are things that, you can sort of work on, right? Like explosiveness, that a little bit quicker step, deception. Those are the things he can work on in order to get in front of a defender. And he just needs to work on his game. It's part of it is the way he handles the rock. You know what I mean? Everything's in front of him. The way he dribbles is in front of him. He doesn't have the side to side and those angles that you need to do in order to sort of disguise where you're planning to go, whether left or right. You know what I mean? You got to develop a hezzy, those sort of things you have to be able to do when you're handling the rock, which he doesn't quite do well, but I think he gets there. One of the things that I do like about his game is his mid-range. He has a solid mid-range game, right? He can stop, he can turn, and he's strong enough to get in front of a defender or push off a defender and get his shot up. But I want to see him finish like with explosiveness to the basket with some contact. That's sort of the things you want him to work on in the future. But I think, he's got time. He's still young 20s. You know what I mean? You don't really come to your own until you're like 23, 24, around that area, 25. That's when you really start to see the maturity of these players.
Yeah, and it's a new age of point guards. They want point guards to be taller, So McBride, he's just going to have to work 3 times harder than the next person, especially because where he was drafted at, his situation. So if you come in undersized, if you come in a late round pick, second round pick, however it works out, unsigned draft pick, however it works out, you just got to work 3 to 5 times harder than the player who came in 15, 14, 13. You got to just work harder for it.
Right. I agree. And just the last thing I was going to say about Deuce, I get it, guys. Listen, Deuce didn't play bad. He was very efficient. He had some good scoring numbers as well in the summer league. But like I said before, it's about his negatives, and you got to think about why he's here. Let's look at him as a point guard real quick. Jalen Brunson is the guy now. We know he's the man. So who would you rather have as the number 2 right now? Deuce, who, remember, he's supposed to be playing the point guard role. And you know what a point guard's supposed to do? Would you rather have Deuce as the point guard as the backup or IQ? To me, even though I never thought that IQ was a real point guard, IQ showed me a lot. Of course, I know he got more minutes to show us that, but he did show it to me. So I'm thinking IQ is above Deuce right now. So that drops him to 3rd in that ranking, right? Then he's more of an off-guard type player. He could be a combo. So let's look at the shooting guard. If we get Donovan Mitchell's number 1 That's point blank, right? If we keep Quentin Grimes, then Quentin Grimes is number 2. And even if we move RJ to the 2, if we don't have Donovan, RJ is the number 1, and I would assume we'd have Grimes as the number 2. So McBride goes to number 3 there too. So there's just not a lot of spots for him he doesn't have that to say he can leapfrog somebody and really get that playing time. That's kind of how I'm looking at it. But anyway, I think I said enough about him. You know what I mean, guys. I like Deuce. And I'll say this one last time because I think people get it twisted. RJ Barrett's my favorite player on the Knicks. Deuce is my second favorite player on the team. So I like him. But, it is what it is.
Right.
No, I see that. I see that. I agree.
Yeah, so that's and I didn't even think that I see somebody, Nick Yak brought it up. I didn't even talk about Derrick Rose. If Donovan doesn't come here, Derrick Rose is still on the team. Like it's just there's people ahead of him. Cam is still here at the moment. There's just
Fournier.
I know Cam's taller, but Cam plays everywhere.
Yeah. And it's a weird situation also because it's like this team is trying to compete to be competitive, right? It's not like IQ and Obi's first year when there was no expectation for the team, right? You had Alfred Payton, IQ coming off the bench. So there was some leeway to give IQ, a little bit extra minutes. All right, you can make a mistake here or there. We'll forgive you or whatever. So there was more free range in year 1. Year 2, they were trying to repeat the success from year 1. So that's why I think McBride didn't get an opportunity, and Grimes as well. I would like to see this year, right? Give McBride just a little bit more, unleash the rope a little bit, loosen the reins a little bit on McBride the same way you did with IQ the first year so we could see what we have with McBride. You never know. It could be that diamond in the rough. Look at Jalen Brunson was picked late in the first round. They developed him after 3 or 4 years. He turned out to what he – so you never know who you have with those later picks.
Yeah, right. That's true. And that's why I'm saying, like, if this trade doesn't happen and the Knicks still retain this young core, I want McBride to be on the team and have an opportunity, but I think he'll be better suited probably as the off guard because he can score and he's efficient. But if you take him out of that point guard role where he has to do the 3 Ds, dribble, drive, and dish, then he's more valuable to me. The dribble, drive, and dish part is where I think there's some issues. So, all right.
Yeah.
Now that brings us to the big bombshell rumor that Marc Stein dropped earlier today on Twitter. That's
we getting Carmelo back? Carmelo's coming back to the Garden?
Well, you know what? He could come back if things play out this way. So according to Marc Stein, he said one league source advised me in Las Vegas to keep an eye on the Knicks and Lakers discussing a potential Westbrook deal if Leon Rose can successfully bring Donovan Mitchell to Madison Square Garden. And so that's a key. It's if the Knicks can already execute the trade to get Donovan Mitchell here. So I guess there's been a lot of, I was trying to understand how everything would work, and there's a lot of moving parts to it. But it would basically be one of those things where you do a fair trade in order to get Donovan Mitchell. It's not one of them crazy astronomical things, but it's somewhat fair. So, you would have to trade Evan Fournier. You would have to trade Cam Reddish. And then you would have to figure out who can, go that makes up the remaining part of the money, at least as close to, because I think you could be within $4 million or something like that. So if you did Evan Fournier, who's 18 million, 19 million, whatever it is, and you did Cam, who's another 6, you're right around 24, 25 million. And then Donovan's currently making 30, and he's got a trade kicker. So if Donovan would waive his trade kicker, which is I think about another $4 million, that brings him closer to around 26, something like that. So then you just need someone to fill out the rest of that extra money, which could be an IQ, because IQ's making 2.5, I think. I don't know if Deuce would work. Deuce is making 1 point something, but it might have to be something like an IQ. And you can give Utah 6 first-round picks. I know it's a lot, but they have a plan. So apparently you would do something like that. You'd give them 6 first-round picks. You You trade them Fournier, Cam, and possibly Deuce or IQ. And shout out to Raw Hebrew. Okay, Raw Hebrew was the one I was watching. He helped me understand how this whole breakdown would work. So then you'd bring in Donovan, right? You'd have him. And then you go to the Lakers and you send Julius Randle, and you would send Derrick Rose. And Julius Randle and Derrick Rose would get you $41 million, right? Westbrook is making 47. And apparently somehow that works. I guess I don't know like I said, what the actual where you have to be in between, but apparently if you did that, that could consummate a trade. I don't know, you'd have to throw a pick in or something like that. I'm not sure, just to kind of give it a little bit more oomph, but that would do it, right? And then they would bring Russell Westbrook to Madison Square Garden. And this is where Knicks fans were losing their mind. I'm like, Russell Westbrook, I don't want him on the Knicks. Well, you wouldn't get him on the Knicks because the Knicks have no plan on keeping him. He would probably never wear a Knicks uniform. After, if they were able to do that, get that trade done, Russell Westbrook would get waived. Knicks would play out the rest of the season, and at the end of the season, they would have $47 million free on the cap. So what that does, it gives you an opportunity to sign RJ Barrett to the max, and you have some money to go add another free agent. Not a big-time free agent, but another really good marginal free agent that can help fill out the roster. So somebody like someone who made like $18 million a year, but that's, you can find pretty good players that make that amount of money, something like that. So what do you guys think about it? Let me go. I'm gonna start with you, John. I'm gonna start with you this time.
Yeah, go ahead, John.
I'm sort of disbelief, and I'm glad that Frank Matos put it up here. Mike Stein said on his podcast tonight that he basically made that trade up.
Come on, so don't tell me that, Frank Matos.
No way. No way.
I'm hoping that that's the case.
No, he wouldn't do. There's no way. No, I don't think Marc Stein would do that. No, get out of here, bro.
Yo, listen, the way that Ron just sold it to me, I'm 100% on board. At first, I was like, no way. But listening to Ron for those 2 minutes, I brought on.
Are you serious?
I'm on board.
I'm on it.
You know what? Maybe. Well, hey, if it's not true, then maybe Marc Stein is trying to put this in the ether. He's in the ethos. Right. He's trying to say, look, Knicks, this is what you should be doing. I don't know.
Yeah. Listen, I mean,
honestly, that man needs to be fired for libel. I'm sorry. Go ahead, John.
Yeah, if that's what he's doing, excuse me. That's crazy.
At the end of the day, man, I've been, like I told you in our last week, I'm sort of trying to wait patiently. I'm seeing all the news. I'm seeing all the noise. I'm gonna wait till something actually is formidable, like something that actually happens, in order for me to digest it and say, okay, where do we go from here? Because a lot of these are just rumors, right? And these rumors are hard to sort of get your brain around and just understand sort of what is the right approach or the approach that the Knicks are going to take. And for me right now, I'm okay with staying put, to be honest. If we don't make any trades, I'm cool with it. I wanted to see Cam get an opportunity to win that position at the small forward position, and having RJ being back at the 2 position where I feel is his strongest position. So I'm okay if they don't make any moves. Now, if they make the move for Donovan, I totally understand that too. And of course, you're bringing in a star. You bring someone who's an accomplished star, someone who's done it year in and year out. So, and whatever it takes to get and free up some cap money, I'm with that too. Because you're going to need to start developing and getting better over time. So these are things that I'm looking forward to discussing once we've already completed a deal or not. You know what I mean? Until we know that, I'm sort of like trying to keep off of the rumor mill, trying to, make my mind up around this player or that player. I'm just trying to wait and see what happens.
Yeah, it's interesting, and I mean, I'm very upset if this was just something that Marc Stein made up. But the point that I will say to people is, it's interesting. It does make sense in a way, because if you think about it, who's that player that we like from San Antonio? He just got a deal. They just
You talking about who went to the Hawks? Yeah, Murray.
No, not Murray that went to the Hawks. The other guy, that, you know, he plays really good defense. He's got a good three-point shot, and he gets into, what is his name? Hold on, guys. Chat, help me out. I'm old.
No, you well seasoned, bro. It's different.
Let me see here. There we
Kelvin
go.
Johnson, Almighty
Kelvin Johnson. Thank you. That's who I'm thinking about. So Kelvin Johnson just signed a 4-year, $80 million deal with the Spurs. So that's $20 million per, right? Now, granted, if something like that happened, the scenario that I did bring up, we might not have enough to get Keldon Johnson straight away, because if we got $47 million off the cap, you figure you're going to be signing RJ a max deal. That's probably around, you know, $30 million, and they might do it in a different. Mid-season. You know, we don't know how the contract will be structured, but that does give you like around $17 million to play with. So that, I mean, here's my thing that I wanted to mention to the Knicks fans who are upset about it. Knicks 100. I see you've been mad all night, bro. It's gonna be okay. Some people aren't happy with Julius Randle. They don't know if he's going to fit with this team long term, if he can, you know, manage his emotions and really pull it together, right? So you're thinking about that situation. This is an alternative. You say, let's give the keys to Obi at the power forward spot. Let him do his thing. Go from there. We get this money. It frees us up. We're able to sign RJ to the max. He's happy, you know. And then we have some money to play with. We can bring in another young player that has some good skill and has shown himself to be a decent player around the league. You can see, you know, you might be able to get up to the 20 million mark if that's what a player like Keldon Johnson deserves. We might be able to get somebody like that and bring him in. The point is that gives you a really interesting way to build out the roster. Some people are concerned that if you get Donovan Mitchell here with Jalen Brunson, your backcourt is going to be poor defensively. You're going to be very small. So, you know, you go through a year of that, if that's the case, and then next year, by doing something like this, you're able to retool, and maybe that guy you bring in that's you know, for 17 or, you know, 18 million, something like that, maybe that guy's a defensive magician. You know, maybe it's a 6'8" wing who plays defense and can score and fits right in perfectly and can make up for some of the issues you have with that small backcourt. I'm just saying, you got to think about it. And if the Knicks are willing to do this, you know, they got a plan, because every time we think they don't have a plan, they're showing us something different. So they must be thinking about something.
Right.
That's all I want to say.
Honestly, when you bring up the possibility of having $45 million come off the books next year, and we could wait to sign RJ while we spend some of that cap money, because we could go over the luxury. I mean, we go over the salary cap when it comes to re-signing RJ, right? So what the team has to understand is, what the fans have to understand is that the team, like you said, they're laying out a plan. You know, at first we didn't understand the plan. We were trying to figure out what the plan was this entire season. But right now, you're seeing that over the past 3 years, over the past 2 years, since Leon Rose has gotten here, this has been the plan from the beginning. The plan has always been to get as many draft picks as it possibly can, bring in that superstar, and everybody has been saying since Rose got here, it was going to be Donovan Mitchell. If you look at the tea leaves, or if you just look at just the hints, you know, with the CAA connection, the fact that Leon Rose's son is Donovan Mitchell, I mean, Jalen Brunson's agent. It's the same thing with Donovan Mitchell. It's just so many things are just working behind the scenes. It's not a question of if it's going to happen, but when, right? And what are we willing to give up, right? We got 6 picks. We got 4 young players. How many of those young players were willing to give up? Then you have what came out today with Marc Stein, with Julius Randle, Russell Westbrook. Knicks fans losing their ever-loving mind when they see Russell Westbrook coming to the Knicks. Of course, because we get good news with Donovan Mitchell. 6 hours later, we wake up to the rumors of Russell Westbrook coming to the. So you know it's an automatic panic. But like you said, it's dead money. If it comes off, it comes off, and we can spend the money elsewhere. Would we want it to work out with Julius Randle? Absolutely. We wanted to work out with Julius Randle. And his first year with Tibbs, you've seen him, all NBA team. The fans just literally supporting him. Everybody, the fans adopting his child as the mascot for the New York Knicks. All that happened. But as quick it turned good, it turned ugly, just like that last year. And I don't think there's any recovering from what happened last year between Julius and the fans. I just don't see anywhere to mend that bridge. So however we could get him out, however we could move the money around, I'm for it. And if it makes sense, hopefully it's true because you sold it to me, Ron. I swear to God, you sold it to me. I'm about to buy the used car from you right now.
What were you gonna say, John? Hey, man, but let me know. Listen, if you need something, I now that I know you'll buy it.
Hold on, Bodega Wi-Fi. I said Russell Westbrook. Yes, you're absolutely right. I have a speech impediment. Thank you, Bodega Wi-Fi. Russell Westbrook. Yes, I said
that. It's like I said, I'm just sort of waiting patiently to see what goes on. You know what I mean? And then I'll make my judgment once I see things sort of come to play. And but I totally understand it. I understand the ways in which the Knicks need to make it happen. Let's see them make it happen. If they can pull the trigger for Donovan Mitchell, that would be the only reason to do that. I don't see a reason not to. But again, moving on from a Russell Westbrook would be something they would have to do in order to, make sure they have space in order to re-sign RJ. And then depending on who ends up leaving on that trade, the official trade for Donovan Mitchell, right? Because who's to say that Cam ain't still on the team? And if Cam is still on the team, then you can pay both RJ and Cam with that money. So it's all a wait and see. Like I said, I like to say it all the time. We got to know the ledge. Let's not jump off it. You know what I mean? Let's stay patient. I think the one thing I'm extremely happy about is that we can see a direction. We could see sort of an unveiling of what's to come. And so once they pull the trigger, once it actually happens, then we can move forward from there and have some really vibrant conversation about where we're planning to go. I know one thing though, whether we get Donovan or not, I'm not going the 50 burger road anymore until they prove it to me.
Yeah, we've been down that 50 burger road. It turned into a meatball.
Yeah.
It's not a burger.
Yeah. I want to ask you guys, right? Because you hear a lot of people saying, and you got the talking heads from the mainstreams like Max Kellerman and all these guys that are talking. And for some reason, people are so quick to want to criticize the Knicks in this front office. No, I don't think there's not one Knicks fan out there that believes if we trade for Donovan Mitchell, we'll go to win the NBA Finals. I don't think there's anybody out there that believes that. So why is it that, whenever they talk about this, oh, that's not moving the needle for the Knicks. What spot they going to be in, the play-in tournament? It makes us better. It's a step in the right direction. It's a way that for us to get Donovan Mitchell and attract other people. Because what happened? We signed Jalen Brunson and then now to Donovan Mitchell. It's just a way to attract people. So this narrative that they're painting that, oh, it's not going to do something for them. It's going to make our team better than what it was last year, period.
But also, I'll add to that, is also building a good culture with quality players. You don't have to have the best or the creme de la creme of type players on your team. You just need quality players. You need quality players to build sort of that, internal infrastructure. Guys who come in who work hard, who know how to handle the media. And that's why they're not going away from RJ Barrett right now, because he understands how to play in New York. You know what I mean? Where a player like Randle is sort of caught in between. He had a good season. When a good season, he can play in New York. He had nothing bad to say about anything. But in a poor season, where all the lights and all the media and is directed at him and his poor play, it affected him mentally. And so it takes a certain caliber of player in order to understand how to talk to the media and how to develop that relationship with the media to help you move into a different level, right? And that happens culture-wise. That's the shift in culture that New York needs. I think that bringing Donovan Mitchell is a win-win for that alone.
Yeah, I agree with that too. I think I'm one of those, like I've said it numerous times. I would love to just see the Knicks play with these young players and see where it goes, what they can build from it and keep building. But you know what? Donovan Mitchell is 25 years old. He's going to be 26. He's still very young. He fits right into our timeline. That works. And if we can get somebody who knows how to play the game, has that animal, not the animal, but that killer mentality, because that's something that you can't really teach. You can you if you're close, you can grow it, right? You say what you will about my best example of that is LeBron James. They used to always clown LeBron because he seemed like he didn't have that killer mentality, but he always had it. He just thought it's better if I see that guy open, I'm gonna pass him the ball because he's open. He should make the shot. And then later, when he was on worse basketball teams and didn't have as much confidence in them, then he realized, oh, I really do have to become that guy and take these shots and become the man. So it all happens with time, and if it's there, it's there. But we haven't seen it. We haven't witnessed it efficiently on the Knicks. Say what you will about RJ. RJ has it, but RJ's just not efficient. Julius Randle, he might have it, but he's just not efficient. So one thing we can say about Donovan's shown that he's hit some big shots in his young career. He's been in the league 5 years. He's hit some big shots. So, it's a chance to bring a guy like that in and see what can happen. And I hope the Knicks get it done. I see Almighty Finesse. I wanted to point to that. He said the longer we wait to get Mitchell, we're not getting him. Other teams will get him. And I that's a fear. I worry about it too. I know. I'm on that. But we'll see what happens. Hopefully this gets wrapped up in the next week, because I don't want it to draw out past that. Yeah, I agree with you on that.
Yeah. I see because you somebody brought up D Rose, right, in the chat. I want to say one thing about D Rose. There's an 85 to 95% chance that Derrick Rose is moved in this offseason. Right. Once the Knicks got rid of and they waived Taj Gibson, right? I'm close friends with Taj Gibson's brother, Aja Gibson, right? Him and I, we're real close. Once that trade went through, once that happened, I immediately hit up Aja. And Aja told me that the Gibson and the Rose family are like this. Washington are trying heavy to trade for D Rose right now. There's other teams that are trying to trade for Derrick Rose. So I'm not sure if D Rose is even going to be on this team next year, according to what I was told from Aja. But it's a high possibility that he's going to wind up in Washington with Taj. Right.
Or finalize his career in Chicago if they make a play for him. You know what I mean? That's a location that he wouldn't mind going, or even LA. He could be put in a move for a Westbrook, because we understand how LeBron really admires what he's accomplished in his career, and he respects him. So that's someone he wouldn't mind playing with. And when it comes to LA, it's LeBron's world. So he makes those final calls.
You see Almighty Finesse. He said, "Give me Johnny Davis for D Rose."
Right. Yeah. But again, if D Rose sticks, he's still going to be our backup point guard. You know what I mean? You already know Tibbs is going to play him heavy minutes, even sometimes to close out games if Jalen don't got it going. So
that's true. And unfortunately, I see some bad news in the chat. I got the alert on the phone too, but I kind of expected this. So it looks like
we talked about it earlier, didn't we?
No, I don't.
Yeah, you did.
Not Knicks. We're not talking about Knicks. No. Like somehow.
That Peter Alonso got knocked out of the home run derby by J-Rod.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought you were talking Knicks talk here. I was like, wait a
minute. No. Yeah,
I thought you was talking about news, actual news.
No. But actually, you know what? Okay. I see what. Damn it! Never again, Jose. We're never putting two Yankees on.
No.
Did it twice now. I'm not doing it again. Anyway, yeah, but he got knocked out by who I thought would be the fan favorite to win this thing, Julio Rodriguez. This dude's a monster, man. So
this kid is real.
We'll see.
20 years old, right? The kid.
Yeah. This guy's a beast.
Monster. Yeah, J-Rod.
So, All right.
It's a little Ken Griffey, A-Rod mix right there, that kid.
There you go. There you
go.
go.
Absolutely. He really is.
Yeah, he's a beast, bro. So before we get out of here, I just wanted to take the time to just go through the chat real quick, say what's up to everybody. Knicks 100, you know what I mean? I'm just messing with you, man. I understand the love for McBride and the love for the guys on the team. I'm right there with you, man. I'm just calling it. I'm looking at things a little different now because I know the Knicks are starting to look at things differently themselves. So we got to be realistic. Certain guys don't look like they're gonna have, longevity with this Knicks team, and McBride could be one of those guys. So we'll see. Yeah. Salute to I just had Kaiser Soze in the building. Was good. Just saw his name. Nick Yak. I think I mentioned your name already, but if I didn't, I'm saying it again. Nick Yak in the building. Appreciate you. Be Civilized is here. As my guy Heck already mentioned, Bodega Wi-Fi is here in the building. Appreciate you, brother. Anudi 25 is here. Thank you for joining as always. Salute to you. Quiet Money is here, man. I'm just happy that Quiet Money is back on the scene, man. It was a while that I hadn't seen you on the podcast, and now you've been back, and it's good to see you everywhere, giving the show support.
Appreciate it.
Not just our show, but all the shows that you support. So it's good to see you, bro. Sean Kearns is in the building.
What it is that he needed to get a new push-up stand. So when he does his push-ups when he's on the cam, because Quiet Money love talking about the Knicks while he's doing push-ups
out, man. Yeah, he always working out. B. Willis is in the building. L. Serby's in the building. No Way Jose obviously is in the building. Infamous New King is here. Angel Torres is here. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you as always. JW is here. Thank you, JW. Dripmore is in the building. That's right. Barber Extraordinaire. William Turnbull is here. All right. Okay. Mark Butler is here. What's going on? D Poetic. D's World of Hoops is in the building. If you guys haven't checked out D's World of Hoops, he's got a great channel, great content. He's definitely, giving you, information about not just the Knicks but other teams. He's giving you, really. He really cuts his bread when it comes to these young players, man. I'm gonna tell you, just the guy does a lot of watching these college games and scouting these guys. I don't know where he finds the time, but he loves doing it. So yeah, man. Eru's in the building. Diehardknicks Podcast is here. What's going on, Eru? Jeremy Maynard's in the building.
If I can, I want to shout out Eru, my fault, Ron and John, real quick. Because Eru, when I first got out there as a content creator back in 2019 on Instagram, Eru and Diehardknicks Podcast were the first people to interact with me and show me love for back then. So shout out my guy Eru and always keeping it real from day one.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Eru's a good guy, man. Good guy.
Yes, he is.
Yes, he is.
Yeah. So, thank you guys as always for tuning in. Appreciate y'all for rocking with us. Like I said, we got 100 people. We had 100 people in here, 98 right now. Hit that like button if you haven't already. D-Nice77's in the building. Appreciate you. If this is your first time here, if is anybody tuning in, hopefully you like the content. Please like and subscribe. We'd appreciate it. And, we'd love to have you as a part of the, the still Knick fan army. So thank you guys. Comega, what's good, Comega? Salute to you, brother. So my guy Heck, listen, let everybody know once again where they can find you so they can catch you on the new show, the Yankees Morning Brew.
Before we do that, all the 100 people that are here right now watching, jump on Yankees Brew. Subscribe right now. Just go ahead. Click over. Subscribe right now. What you waiting for? You're going to get the best Yankee news you can get. You know what I mean?
Unless you're a Met fan.
I appreciate that, fellas.
Listen, if you're a Met fan, we talk baseball.
Yeah. Everybody's welcome. It may be called the Yankees Morning Brew, but everybody's welcome. I have Angel fans come by. I have Blue Jay fans come by. Met fans are more than welcome to come by all the time. As Evu just put it in, Evu's always checking in on me in the morning, whether it's IG or on YouTube. But yeah, Yankees Morning Brew on YouTube. Knights of Degen is a YouTube channel. We're on Twitch. We're on YouTube. We're on Twitter. We're on every major place that you can get a podcast. We are there. The company behind the FCF just signed a deal with Rad TV. Rad TV is a streaming service that goes directly to PlayStation or Xbox Live. So if you have a PlayStation or Xbox, download Rad TV. You will start seeing my face in October on Rad TV. We have interactive fantasy baseball coming at the end of August. I'll send you guys the invite. What it is basically a customized fantasy league. Everybody gets an NFT. Everybody puts in a little bit of money. And at the end of it, the last team left standing gets the prize money at the end of the day. You know, if anybody wants to know about the Fan Control Football League, I'll lay it out for you real quick. What it is the Fan Control Football League, it gives the power to the fans. Ain't no corporation, ain't no corporate level. So if Ron, John, myself, we have ownership in the Knights of Degen. Every time the Degens play every week, we vote to see what player we want on our team. Every time the game is going on, we get to choose what play we want our team to run. If we want our quarterback to run it, we all vote, the quarterback runs. So it's a fan control league for the fans, by the fans. It's all putting the power back into the fans. You know, and as well, John and myself, we are working on something. We will let you know when it will be coming out, but it is coming out this soon. And we got a lot of stuff. We got a lot of stuff backstage we working on. Trust us. It's going to be special.
Oh, talk about the morning brew. We brewing.
Oh yeah,
That's
yeah.
dope.
Make sure you guys come by with your coffee. I'm a Bustelo type of guy myself. I say that all the time. Make sure you got your Bustelo.
Gotta have the Bustelo. Yeah, man, and yeah. So that's good. That Marc Butler. If you're a Pirates fan, that means you can come on the show too.
Yeah, come on.
We could talk about Roberto Clemente.
Or you could
There
talk
you
about
go.
that new
Bingo.
shortstop. That shortstop is the real deal, folks.
Yeah, he's
O'Neal
got
Cruz.
something.
O'Neal Cruz is no joke, man. You talking about a 6'6" shortstop. Have you ever seen guys? I know some people feel baseball is, you know, not the sexiest sport. It's a little boring. It's a little slow. But when you get into it and you watch it, it's one of the best games to watch. But have you ever seen
Julian? I'm gonna put the link in the chat for you, Julian. My fault.
Oh yeah, feel free to do that. If you ever seen a position player, all they talk about with this guy is how hard he hits the ball, or how hard he throws the ball to first base.
Right.
Or like, I mean, you've never seen a guy like this in years. The guy is 6'6". He's a freaking specimen. He hits moonshots. He hits the ball hard as hell. Like they're tracking how fast he's hitting the ball out. Go ahead,
He's
John.
a Troy Tulowitzki with speed. That's what he is. What he needs to do, though, is get a little bit better with his footwork at short. I think right now he has more of a third baseman's athletic ability to go side to side, but he does have range. He has a extremely powerful arm. But I think right now he works on his footwork a little better at short. I think he can make all the plays. He'll get becoming like Gold Glove.
His arm, if you saw it, it was a couple weeks ago.
So 98, right?
From the shortstop, 98.6 miles per hour.
Crazy.
98. Woo. He's gonna be the next.
I don't want to be the first baseman. I ain't trying to catch that.
No.
When those hit the,
I don't even want to be a second baseman.
You can fracture something once it hits right there in that glove.
Forget about it, bro. Forget about
those
it.
ligaments don't heal like they used to.
These first basemen, they got a first base glove, but they ain't a catcher's mitt. Like,
facts.
Yeah. That's it. What's your guys' favorite baseball movie growing up? Real quick before we dip.
Oh, The Sandlot. Easy.
I mean, I guess, yeah. I'm gonna say for me, growing up is a little bit being older, like because I like Major League, man.
Angels in the outfield, Major League.
Oh no.
Major League was
that's a lie. Oh, my bad. I just thought about it. The Bad News Bears.
Bad News Bears. That's a good one.
Yeah, classic.
Yeah,
The Sandlot is everyone's. Everybody has to say The Sandlot. If you don't say The Sandlot, stop watching baseball. Remove your subscription from MLB, everything. You got to say The Sandlot. But besides that, I would say Little Big League. If you guys remember Little Big League, it's a story about the kid whose grandfather passed away, so he was gifted the Minnesota Twins, and it was actually the story of the '95 Yankees, right? The Twins versus the Seattle Mariners, and so it was literally the '95 Yankees, but it was the Minnesota Twins. But that movie, love it, awesome movie.
Right.
Wow. I haven't seen Little Big League in a long time. I don't even really remember it. I'll check it out again. I don't mind.
That was another good one.
Oh, Field of Dreams.
Field of Dreams is a good one.
Even and you know one that doesn't get a good look, A League of Their Own. A League of Their Own. That was baseball.
Yeah, A League of Their Own was a really
that's
good movie too. It was. Yeah. And Mr. 3000. No, I'm just joking, but I liked it.
Oh no, Mr. 3000. It's an underrated movie. A baseball movie. It's a very underrated baseball movie.
Yeah.
That to me, the scene where Bernie Mac is explaining to him, like, you got this amount of seconds to decide if it's a 98-mile-an-hour fastball or a curveball. Like, to me, I was like, oh, this is awesome.
Eru said Brewster's Millions. I like that too, though. I like baseball movies, I'm realizing. Yeah, Brewster's Millions was funny, but it was actually the underlying theme was big about baseball. Bull Durham. The other one that I wanted to mention, but I can't remember the name, guys. If you guys remember in the chat, there was a baseball movie with Tom Selleck where he had to go play for the Japan League.
Oh, yeah. He was a Yankee. He was a former Yankee that went to go play over there. Mr. Baseball.
They thought he was
Mr. Baseball. Yeah, Mr. Something.
Yeah, Mr. Baseball.
Yeah. That was a good movie, too. I mean, it was more of a love story, but it was still a good baseball movie.
I see you, Ron, showing your softer side.
Hey, come on now. You know, every Sunday it's a chick flick.
I see how you reeled your wife in. I see you.
Listen. Nobody could turn down a Tom Selleck mustache. Right? That mustache is a Hall of Fame mustache.
Point blank. Really is.
Carpenter's wearing it. Now Carpenter's rocking it.
Yeah. Now Matty Cop's got it.
Matty Cop.
There you go.
Killing.
Salute to Keith Turner. E. Gibson, I think I shouted you out before, but if I didn't, salute to you, brother. Salute to Two Tears in a Bucket. I love that name. Salute to 27 is in the building. East Blue Drew. East Blue Drew sounds like it's associated with baseball in some way. I don't know.
It's a minor league team.
Is it? Oh, okay, cool. Dope. Yeah. Thank you, guys. Ron Sarmiento is in the building. Paris Duggar is here. Well, guys, we're about to wrap up the show, so I know you guys are joining now, but definitely feel free to watch the replay because it was a fun time here chopping it up with our guy, Project Nerd HQ, my man Heck in the building.
Yes, sir.
So the other thing is, while I got you guys here, you 93 that are still in the building, make sure you hit that like button. But once again, I want to give a special shout out to you because I know some of you guys might be following us on Twitter. Thank you. Once again, we hit the 1,000 subscriber mark on Twitter today. So I can't thank you guys. Well, we can't thank you guys enough. Thank you so much for supporting us. We appreciate you guys. It's you know, every accomplishment is an important accomplishment. So thank you guys. They're like little milestones.
You're right. Yeah. You're right about that.
It definitely is.
All right. So why don't we, allow Heck to say his final words, allow him to get some rest, and then John and I will close out the show. So, Heck, you have the floor. Once again, thank you for being here with us. Anything you want to say, the floor is yours.
First and foremost, thank you guys, for always making it feel like it's family. It's not just content creators. I feel like you guys are my lost long older cousins, older uncles, and stuff like that. So I feel such a connection and just so blessed to be here. First and foremost, the chat as well. My guy Bodega Wildfire. There's a lot of people that was in the chat that know me from For the Love of the Game that I haven't seen in a while. So Bodega Wildfire, Knicks 100, Nick Yat, everybody who's in the chat, E. Gibson, Eru came through. Just subscribe to the Yankees Morning Brew. A lot of things gonna happen. Ron and John. They gonna come on one day. John's gonna let me be the 10th man on his softball team. I swear to God, I'm putting pressure on his back for that right now. But I appreciate the fellas for having me on. Thank you guys so much.
Hey man, definitely a pleasure having you, bro. I'm just happy that we were able to chop it up with you finally. There's definitely some other guys on our list that are in the Knicks community that we haven't had a chance to bring on the Monday weekly show yet, and we definitely want to do that and support everybody, give everybody an opportunity to plug what they're working on and really champion everybody, because everybody's talented in their own right, and people gave us that same opportunity when we came here and became a part of the community. So we want to return the favor and show that same type of love. So thank you for being here once again.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Sir. Well, guys, it's been a pleasure. We always here chopping it up with y'all. You know how we do. John, any final words, brother?
As always, man, appreciate everybody on the chat. Looking forward to the next one, man. Stay blessed.
Thank you once again. That's John being the Russell Simmons of the show, giving us the positive words. Stay blessed, guys. And I just want to shout out to all you guys in the chat once again. Thank you guys for rocking with us. Appreciate my man Jose on the ones and twos holding us down. More fire, rhythm beats. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, man, this has always been a fun time. I can't tell you how much it means to me personally to continue to be here, rocking with my brothers, and doing this. So, as I always say, tell a friend who tells a friend who tells another friend. Still, Knick fans, we'll be back again. And guys, stay tuned for this Saturday's Know the Ledge. You know how we come at you, and I also, while this whole thing is going on with the Donovan Mitchell, tune in to this Thursday's NBA report on the Nothing But Knicks channel. We're going to have a special guest with us, our first special guest outside of our Knick community. This is a gentleman who hosts a really poppin' podcast in Utah. So we're going to get, his feeling on what's been going on with this whole pursuit of Donovan. And who knows, hopefully the trade will be done by then so we can talk about how we feel having Donovan and how he feels losing Donovan, how that's affecting Utah and the direction they're going in. That's what I'm hoping for. Fingers crossed, but we'll see. Anyway, thank you guys once again. Always a pleasure. Y'all stay safe. Be blessed. Have a great night. We'll see you next time.